Welcome back to First Move. US stocks up and running this Wednesday. We're seeing solid early session gains as investors try to get a handle on an array of market challenges, chief among them uncertainty over new emergency aid. President Trump slammed the door shut on further negotiations with Democrats yesterday, then later said targeted aid for unemployed workers and businesses is possible, particularly hard-hit airlines. Now, major airlines fell sharply in Tuesday's session. As you can see, they're all higher in early trading today. American Airlines called this week a crushing blow for aviation after the US president dashed hopes of that relief on Tuesday. But then, of course, as I mentioned, he threw the industry that lifeline, suggesting that Congress could deliver a standalone package, tweeting the House and Senate should immediately approve $25 billion for airline payroll support. Joining us now, Sara Nelson, president of the Association of Flight Attendants. Sara, fantastic to have you with us. Just talk me through the last 24 hours. I'm sure huge highs and lows for your workers and the workers you represent.
Yes, huge highs and lows. We already have tens of thousands of people on furlough without health care or a paycheck. Over 100,000 who are not getting a paycheck, and we are expecting more furloughs. So this has been the most successful jobs program and infrastructure program of coronavirus relief, and we have had overwhelming bipartisan support to get this done. We truly believed that our issue was driving the ability to get a larger package for the whole country because everyone needs help. And we know that in our communities, everyone needs help. So it was crushing when we knew that talks were progressing and moving towards a larger relief bill that would have given substantial help to all Americans. We believe that it's really sad that was stopped because it had every ability to get passed. At this point, we are going to move forward and try to get everything that we can for the American people, including the people that we represent and aviation workers. And we need to keep this critical infrastructure in place for all of America, too. We know that we're fighting for our jobs. We know that airline jobs support 1 in 14 jobs in this country. So if we let this go, we're not only hurting ourselves, but we're hurting the rest of America. And we also know that this critical infrastructure that provides connectivity to all of our communities is at risk as well if we don't get this in place. So it's very sad to us because so much more relief could have gotten to so many more people. We are going to work very hard now to lock in this airline relief so that we can continue to take care of people and remain strong ourselves and try to lift our country out of this horrible crisis.
Sara, I mean, I can see and hear the emotion in your voice. I can only imagine the conversations that you're having and the struggles that people are facing, one with the uncertainty, but two with just daily being furloughed or being laid off. I just want you to clarify for me, particularly for an international audience, in the United States, when we talk about furlough, it tends to mean if a person had medical benefits and insurance, they would keep them. We're calling the several tens of thousands of layoffs this week layoffs, because in many cases we believe they've lost their medical insurance, and we have to remember we're in a pandemic. How many of these people that are now being furloughed will lose their medical cover? Because this is critically important to understand too.
Every aviation worker who is on furlough is also losing their medical insurance. So we're talking about over 100,000 people who are losing their medical insurance as well in the middle of the pandemic. These are people who have been on the front lines since the beginning of this virus, fighting every day, going to work, risking their lives. And they've not only been put out of work, they have been put out of their medical insurance as well. It's cruel, and it's got to be reversed. It seems that maybe we have a path to do that. But to keep people in uncertainty like this, it is really cruel. And there are people who are struggling with mental health. And we are dealing with that in our union as well, trying to support people and help them understand that they're not alone. But this has been incredibly trying, and it didn't need to be. We have overwhelming support. This has been a jobs and infrastructure program that has worked. It has had incredible support. 2 weeks ago, this could have moved through and gotten resolved, but one senator held that up, and the president did not weigh in then. People have been kept in this perpetual state of uncertainty, and now actually having faced furlough and on their 7th day of that furlough and no health insurance. We have people who are having babies and going to the hospital without insurance. We have people who have chronic illnesses who now no longer have that insurance and that certainty. We have people who are have been at work and exposed to coronavirus and now don't have that health insurance. This is serious, and we need to get all of these people certainty as soon as possible, and that's what we're working very hard to do.
Sarah, ordinarily I would interrupt to ask more questions, but I think you've painted a picture of the challenges, and it's not just your industry, it's many different industries, which is part of the battle here. But the heartbreaking thing is we do seem to have agreement, both from the Democrats and the Republicans. It's just coming to a finalised deal to get the money to you. Do your workers feel safe working on these flights? Because this is another issue, and as you said, they are on the front lines in this pandemic amid the fear of contracting COVID. Do they feel safe when they're up in the skies if they're working?
Well, look, we've done a lot of work in the airline industry and in fact actually worked very closely with the airline industry. The government has refused to put a plan in place to put in place any kind of mandates, such as a mask mandate, and back us up in that way. But we have worked with our airlines, and they are enforcing the mask policies. They have improved their cleaning. They have made sure that the air filtration is better than any office building. The truth is that it's probably one of the most controlled environments, and that does make it more safe, possibly, than other places. But there are no assurances with this virus, and the best way to protect yourself is to remain socially distanced, remain safe at home. So when they go to work, when they go on public transportation to get there, when they are going to the hotels to stay, all of that is it puts them in jeopardy, and so they are doing a service to the country, and we just want the country to take care of them now.
Sarah, great to have you with us. Thank you so much, and we hope an agreement gets reached. Our hearts are with you and your workers. Terrible times.
Thank you.
Sarah Nelson there, the president of the Association of Flight